It's only somewhere in the first week of October that we realized that something was wrong. And that is when the channel of transmission became clear to us that our corporates over a period of time had started using short-term funds in various ways. They had subsidiaries abroad, they had suppliers abroad, they were people to whom they were selling products abroad, and they were getting credit from all these people. And as the Western markets felt the liquidity squeeze, these people, their lines of credit were not renewed. When their lines of credit were not renewed, they made this demand on the Indian banking sector. When the Indian banking sector found it difficult to supply this liquidity, they said, let's redeem our mutual fund units. So I think one of the lessons that we learned in this crisis is that it is very important for regulators to pay close attention to what the channels of transmission are. If tomorrow there were trouble in the world, how will it be transmitted to our system? This is not an easy one, that's why I call it a challenge, because the market is innovating all the time and it's very difficult to figure out as to what the channels would be, but we need a focus there. It is better that we know at least 60 to 70% of the story than not know anything at all. It is possible that market will be ahead of us and we may not know the entire thing. I think what happened subsequently after this temporary liquidity gap was bridged is that we realized that by and large the corporates in India as well as the households in India were able to bounce back pretty quickly. And to my mind, one of the reasons for that is that we were comparatively less leveraged, both the corporates in India as well as the households. The corporates were less leveraged was not a phenomena that was of a short duration, but this deleveraging in the corporates happened continuously from 1992 onwards. And as the corporates were making money and were able to retain funds, they reduced their leverage. I promise you that I will not show you any slides, but just to give you an idea of numbers, the corporate leverage between 1992 to 2009, and this is non-financial firms, came down from about a ratio of 1.5 to somewhere close to 1. And that's huge. That's huge considering that the economy had been growing at something like 6 to 7% on an average through this period. It's huge considering that the corporates were growing even more. Investment was growing. So it's not that the demand for money was, by the corporates was less, but it is that they were making profits that were sufficient for them to be able to give a handsome payout to their shareholders, but at the same time retain enough money to be less leveraged than before. As we discovered later, we found that the firms that had failed in the US, basic reason was that they were leveraged something like 1:30 or 1:49. So clearly leverage is important. And leverage is something that regulators need to pay attention to. And we need to constantly see whether there are any pockets that are developing in the economy that are getting over-leveraged. And if they are getting over-leveraged, it's almost without doubt that there will be a failure there. And therefore we need to make whatever attempts we need to see that that sector is not allowed to grow. I think this is also related to innovation in finance. And there is a lesson there for us. That when the financial market tells you as a regulator that it has innovated and an innovative product has come into being, one should ask oneself two fundamental questions. Does it create leverage? Does it hide leverage? And if these are the two things that the innovation is doing, then the regulators must make sure that there are adequate checks and balances. The market players have tremendous incentive to hide leverage. Because if you as regulator are trying to control leverage, then obviously you are putting some constraints on growth, at least in the good times. In good times, it almost appears like you are spoiling the party if you are controlling leverage. And you know what happened to the property sector in India. When the central bank put curbs on lending against property, it came in for heavy criticism that it was being anti-development. But subsequently we all realized that what they were doing was right. So I think leverage is a very important issue. Again, not easy to handle, but financial innovation has this one aspect about it that we need to keep in mind as regulators. There is a second aspect of financial innovation I think that we've learned from this crisis that we need to pay close attention to. And that is that finance is not magic. Finance is actually a service to the real world. And if any financial product were to tell you that I am creating magic in the real world, I think we should be very suspicious of such products. If somebody told you that by creating a wonderful financial product, I can give a poor man a loan through which he can own a house of, let's say, 25 lakhs rupees. And I have created a structure through which he can repay as well. There is something wrong here fundamentally. There is no way finance can create a situation where a borrower can overborrow. It's as simple as that. But we all got taken in by financial innovation. So we all have to be careful as to what is financial innovation doing. So I won't go as far as the famous remark from a very revered central banker from the US that there has been no innovation in finance except for ATM in the last 15 to 20 years. I won't go as far as that, but I think it is healthy to be suspicious of innovation in terms of asking these questions. The third lesson that I would want to focus on in terms of what's happened after the crisis is that we have all learned that big entities can create big mess. And the challenge before the regulators is, can we impose extra regulations on big entities? Because if they were to fail, they will create a big mess. Is it possible at all, practically, to say that because you are X size, you need more capital? You can't take more than Y risk. Or, the other choice is to say you can't be this big. You're just going to break you up. And the world is struggling with this question. This is even more difficult to handle because these big entities have big persuasive ability. Their access, political, media access is tremendous. And therefore the regulators are going to be at the receiving end when they try to do something about these big entities. Either of these two things. Either they impose extra obligations on them because they are what is termed as too big to fail, or they say that you are just too big to exist, so we need to split you up. And my submission to you is that we haven't found an answer to this. So we know that big entities create big mess if they fail. We know that they have tremendous ability to work around your regulations. They know that they have tremendous firepower in terms of their persuasive abilities. And yet, we need to handle this question. And it will be interesting to see how this gets handled in the days to come. The next lesson that we in India particularly learned, the world has also probably learned this lesson,